Well, hello again, Maverick traders, and welcome back to your daily currency recap. This is Sankit here, and let's break down today's market price action. It's a Tuesday, February the 27th. Can't believe we're already at the end of February. So let's get into it. Let's take a look at today's market price action. As always, do a top-down analysis, take a look at currency baskets, and talk about possible setups ahead. Let's get into it.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
So looking at our market analysis here, let's just get right into the news. So overall, equities remains bullish. We're seeing a slight pullback, but nothing has changed. In the currency market, muted moves across the board, and you'll see when I take a look at the percentage change today, here we are. A whopping 0.18% is the biggest move for the day. Again, this is not a great price action. So whenever you get this, and again, trading it for the entire year, you'll see there are periods where you see a lot of movement, then you see some muted movements, then you see a lot of volatility, and sometimes you see no volatility. We are in this quiet period of no volatility and really small movements. So that's really where we are. And as always, go back to the drawing board and see, okay, how do I trade this market? This market is certainly unique towards the kind of volatility and the movements that we're seeing. But I'm noticing the same thing across the board. Across the equity markets, volatility is low. Everywhere, things are really quiet. So that's just where we are. And most of the activity is really in the crypto markets. Take a look at whopping 4.21%. We're seeing crypto rising across the board. But outside of that, small movement in the S&P, small movement in the World Stock Index. Gold is mostly flat and slightly higher move in the oil market. So the only thing that's really moving is the crypto markets. You can see Bitcoin up 4.27%, Bitcoin Cash playing a catch up here, Ethereum, and here we are Litecoin. So overall, we are liking the Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that's really what's rising. So that's really where all that action is. But as we go into our market outlook, we're still at +3. Remember, we need to see the change in the market in order to make that call for a change. And right now, I know there's a lot of, pessimism here where, we might be getting a little bit of pullback here from some traders. That could happen, but right now, it is not showing any sign. It looks really bullish, but it's not really showing any sign that it wants to roll over yet. So this is still a bull pullback to me. And until we start to make a lower high and lower low, nothing really is changing. But where we are in the schedule, we are definitely seeing more movement around the news events, and that's exactly where we need to be active. Tonight, we have the Aussie CPI at 7:30, but most importantly, we have the Kiwi rate statement at 8 o'clock. This is what I'll be trading tonight. So when I'm not seeing a whole lot of movements, that's exactly where you need to be active around news events, because that's really where we're going to get a movement one way or the other. So that's what I'm planning for tonight. And I'll be taking a look at some of the setups in the Kiwi currency pairs. So let's do our quick currency analysis and take a look at where the velocity is. Now, if you take a look at the velocity again, except the +3 for the cryptos, you can see that CAD is the one that's showing relative weakness. And for the day, Swiss franc actually is the one showing relative strength. So the CAD overall is showing weakness, so it is in line with trend. But Swiss franc has been weak. So this is, again, a counter trend move that we're getting. So maybe a little a bear rally in formation for Swiss franc. Dollar is dead zero. It's on the trend, is quiet. On the velocity is quiet. I think dollar is not a tradable currency at this moment. But we can find movements on other currencies. The euro and the pound, they still look good to me here. The yen, again, another counter trend move. Yen is a pretty weak currency, but both the Swiss franc and the yen having a slight movement up. So remember, what we need to do is when we have a strong trend score and we get these 1 or 2 high days in the currency, we want to take an opportunity to short those moves. Usually, that's where the gravity kind of pulls them back. So, maybe those movements can last for a day or two, but I think overall, those would just present a good shorting opportunity. We are seeing a little bit of weakness today in the Aussie and Kiwi. Again, maybe there's just more jitters ahead of the RBNZ rate statement. So I think once we get that number, we'll probably see a bigger movement here. So let's take a look at possible trades ahead and talk about some setups here.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
So let's just take a look at the Kiwi basket first. So where are we on the Kiwi basket? Remember, I talked about how Kiwi has been one of the strongest currency in the last few days. You can see the run kind of look extended. So what are we getting here? We are getting a bull pullback. This is the prior resistance, which is now the support. So when we get the RBNZ rate statement tonight, it's important for Kiwi to really hold this level. You can see this level is crucial. We got really close to that level and then did bounce back. This could be just a bull pullback to me here. But we have that event that we have to get through, and I think that will make it clear for the Kiwi going forward. So this is just a bull pullback to me. This is a prior resistance. If this breaks higher, I really like on the upside. At this point, I just wanted to see, let the event go through and see if does it break this level below, or does it rise and get up to the higher level. And if it does, I think this will be a good long opportunity off this bull pullback. So this is, again, a news-driven trade that I'll be taking a look at. You can see that in the shorter term, momentum is weak. Or this is a 4-hour chart, momentum is weak. So what I'll be taking a look at is the initial move. And the initial move, I can take a look at it on a short-term time frame and see which way it goes. You can draw the lines. You can draw some alerts and say, tell me if this break that level. And whichever level it breaks and has a follow-through, that's the direction that we want to follow. Now the question is, what do you want to pair it against? And again, I'm always like to have both the best and the worst case scenario. What if the Kiwi is strongest and what's the Kiwi is the weakest? So at first, we're getting the inflation number out of Australia. You can see Australian dollar has been pretty weak overall. So, and we can take a look at Aussie against the Kiwi. So if the CPI remains weak and the Aussie does remain weak, and if the Kiwi turns out to be stronger on the news, I still like Aussie Kiwis. You can see the last 2 days is trying to get higher. And look at the wicks on that candle. So at this point, it's showing me relative weakness. What's the level of support? It's at about 105.73. It's sitting at about 106.05. So if it breaks that level, I can maybe put a sell stop here. That's the level I'm looking to break. And if it breaks that level, I like to follow that. And again, if you're going to go on a weekly chart, you'll be able to get a decent range to look for your target. But it's really at an important level of support at this point. As you go back in time here, this is an important level of support that we really need to kind of break. So that goes in the category as the best case scenario for Aussie Kiwi. Let's take a look at Kiwi against the Swiss franc. We know that Kiwi Swiss franc has been on the weaker side. So here we are, Kiwi against the Swiss franc. This is a weekly chart. You can see there's a good resistance up at the higher level here. On a day, on the daily chart, this just looks like a bull pullback to me. Pulling back right at the 13-day exponential moving average. And let's see if this can rise up from it. But right now, it's still early to make that call. It's still in this bull pullback position here. On this chart, 4-hour chart, is still showing weakness. So not ready to pull the trigger yet. Now, what if the Kiwi is the weakest? Let me actually take a look at another one, Kiwi dollar. Kiwi dollar might be the safest one. Yeah, Kiwi dollar, not really. So Kiwi CAD is the one that I actually wanted to look at. Kiwi CAD is the one that, because the CAD is showing relative weakness and Kiwi is the strongest, then I can perhaps take a look at Kiwi CAD. On a daily chart, you can see it's a bull pullback. A lot of heavy resistance around that resistance, but if it breaks above that area, I want to get long on that one. So those are the ones that I like it on possible best case scenario. What if the Kiwi is the weakest? What if the Kiwi is the weakest? Maybe then take a look at the Euro against the Kiwi. Right there on, I mean, at this point, I mean, it just looks like a pullback, but I mean, on a daily chart, we're getting a nice little wick over here, which means that, on a 4-hour chart, let's say, we can look for some setups to kind of go long off of, because we still like the Euro on the long side. And another one is the pound Kiwi. And you can see the pound Kiwi is just making a high base on a 4-hour chart. And going on to the daily, it looks like it wants to break out, even though getting a little wick today. But again, that will be the good candidate to go for long on the pound Kiwi. So those are the two that I'm really looking at. And again, I think that is the only focus for me tonight. As we go to tomorrow, we get some US data. But I want everyone to kind of keep an eye on what's happening in the USD basket here. Not a whole lot. Very muted moves. So what happened in these kind of movements? If you trade too short term, you will get some movements, but no follow through. You can see how it broke lower and it just went higher. And it just went higher and then went lower. So there's a lot of confusion on a short-term chart. Only if you go on a higher term, you'll be able to see like, oh, this currency is not doing much. So let's not spend too much time trading the dollar. I think there's better moves out there, especially take a look at the CAD here. CAD looks like a nice short to me, because this one, it has been outperforming for the last couple of months, and now it's underperforming. So this one looks more weaker to me compared to the dollar. So this is where you can also take a look at same setups, like Euro CAD onto the upside. You can see on a daily chart, 4-hour chart moving very nicely, and so is the pound CAD. So pound CAD actually looks the best here. 4-hour chart looks like it's already wanted to break out. On the daily chart, yeah, this thing is a runner here. So again, I like to enter all of these trades on a higher time frame, because that's really where we're getting a more consistent move across the board, considering volatility is really low. So in conclusion, we are looking for the key rate statement due tonight 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.